The officer walked to the front line and said, "These two are going through." Instantly, the men parted. With his hand now clasping Penny's, Warrick asked, "Are you okay?" "Yes, but you shouldn't be coming with me." She motioned to his foot. "You're injured. You won't be any help." He snorted. "Even with my damn leg as it is, I'm twice the man that asshole is. You don't worry about me. I've got more tricks up my sleeve than that guy will ever know." She shook her head. "You realize we'll both likely get shot as soon as we walk through that door. Not if he wants to get out of here alive, we won't be," Warrick said calmly. But he also knew that too often the guys didn't want to get out alive. All they wanted was to create chaos, have a voice, and then they were happy to take out as many people around them as they could. Warrick would do his best to stop that, but he also had to take down this asshole, or at least get him in a position where a sniper could. Warrick understood the logistics of the problem, but first he had to convince this asshole that Warrick had a reason for coming in. "Make damn sure he thinks I'm your boyfriend," Warrick said. "Why would I lead my boyfriend into a scenario like this?" she asked. "If I loved you at all, I'd do my best to keep you outside." "Which, considering you've already tried to keep me out," he said with an interested tone, "means maybe you do love me, at least a little bit." She snorted. "In your dreams." "Sweetheart, you're already in my dreams." They neared the front door. She reached up and knocked. He looked at her. "Are you expecting him to answer that?" She shrugged. "I don't know. I've never been in a position like this." Just then the door opened, and standing far enough back that Warrick couldn't lunge for him was a man holding a semi-automatic rifle. Warrick studied the rifle, looked at the man, and said, "George, I presume?" The rifle was raised and pointed at his chest. "Who the fuck are you, and what are you doing here?" Penny stepped in front of him. "You wanted me. He wouldn't let me come without him. He's my boyfriend." George snorted. "Sounds like you need to get some sense knocked into you, too." He motioned the two of them inside. He looked at Warrick, saw the foot, and sneered. "You're injured. What'd she do, beat you up?" His tone was mocking, but he made sure the rifle was trained on one or the other. George motioned for the two of them to walk in toward the ICU. "Nina is over there." Warrick stayed at Penny's side as she walked forward in a straight line. She could see nurses sitting on the side of the hallway, their hands and ankles taped. Nobody appeared to be injured. They all just stared, their gazes huge. They were so hopeful she was coming to rescue them, when, in actual fact, there was a good chance she would be joining them. She pushed aside the designated curtain, and there was Nina, lying in the bed, her face black and purple. Penny raced to her side. Nina took one look and started to cry. "You shouldn't have come," she said, sobbing. "You were so right. He's nuts. He said he lost his temper this morning because of me and shot up some cars on the base, then came after me." Penny gently stroked her friend's face. "Hush, don't talk like that." "She better talk like that," came the voice at the end of the bed. It was all Warrick could do not to give the man a hard smack, but the rifle was pointed at Penny. Just one slight move on the trigger and both Penny and Nina would likely be dead. Penny straightened and turned to glare at him. "George, is this how you want her to love you?" George drew his brows together. "What are you talking about?" She pointed to Nina's face. "You did this. You beat her up. Look what she looks like now." George shrugged. "She'll heal. That's just bruising." He lifted the rifle tip again so it was a little higher, pointed it at Penny's upper chest. "Now tell her." She clasped Nina's fingers. Warrick only watched with half a mind. He was studying the layout of the cubicle, the hostages tied up on the chairs in the outer hallway. He estimated the height of everybody around and determined the only ones vertical were the three of them. Nina was in bed, slightly propped up, so everybody was below George's ribs, which meant, as long as George kept the rifle high, the only ones in the line of fire were Penny, Warrick, and the asshole. Warrick would be totally okay if George went down in the process, preferably forever.